something's tough, if you struggle, then you give up on it and you won't go back to it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, go back to something you can do and do that for a few weeks if you have to, and carry on that way.
Welcome back to the Lose to Win podcast with myself, Josh, and Ben. No Jack this week, but Ben did pull someone from the ether, from his own team, no less.
Yes. Yes, we have a superstar guest.
Superstar guest indeed. Mr. Martin Boone from the Purples, mate. How are you doing?
Not bad at all.
Welcome,
good to have
Mark.
you, mate. Yeah.
Yes,
Very
welcome.
good. Yeah.
Great to have you on, mate.
Lovely to be on.
Cheers. No worry. Well, I'm looking forward to this. Looking to hearing about your journey to date and how you've been. Ben, mate, how have you been? Firstly,
all right, mate. Yeah, not too bad. Bit sore after last week's activities, and we had a bit of footy last night. Got a couple of harsh tackles last night.
Yeah, I was going to say are you talking last Friday activities? Or are you just generally
Tuesday, Friday, this Tuesday?
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
Legs.
Yeah.
I've got big bruises on me. But yeah, apart from that, all good, mate. All good. How about you? Yeah. How's your foot?
Okay. I did a bit of a test yesterday, as you know, in Tuesday football, just a little bit earlier than I'd previously planned, just to see how it was and how it was doing. And I'll be just really honest with you, it was painful. I probably should have done it. Everything apart from kicking the ball because it's the top of my foot. So everything apart from laces and doing long passing basically is fine.
Right.
But you mean that's like 90% of my game, in it, hitting striker to laces and trying to ping it long. So I'll just freely admit I just need to give it a further rest, basically. So it needs
to use your other foot a bit more, mate.
Well, yes, I probably should have used my left foot a little bit more, but it's hard, isn't it? It's like hard when you've just done it for so long. To get out of that habit. So just anyway, but yeah, so a little bit of rest on that. We'll see how we go. So probably no football now for another week or two.
Play Friday?
At the moment, I don't think so.
You're playing Sunday, there, right?
Not really. As well, I'll go along.
You're not?
I think if I have to play, I will. But really, I don't want to be putting any real minutes on it, just especially in that environment. So
yeah, fair enough.
So we'll see. It's going to be a bit difficult. Well, anyway, Ben, you'll have to fill in for me on Sunday. Make sure you get the centre back there.
I'll do my best, mate. I'll do my best. See how my knees hold out.
Yeah. We'll see how we do. How about you, Martin? How have you been this week? How's it been doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Took a few knocks on Friday, but it's what it is, isn't it? Yeah. I got a nice egg on my rib. I got elbowed.
Oh really?
Part of the game, isn't it? So.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from the other week when I got crocked, but
got a few on play. We'll hear about your injury woes.
Yeah.
Historical and present, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty confident. I know you because I remember because you're obviously on the list for the midweek games, and unfortunately, it seems every time it gets to you, just say, "I'm just not quite ready at the moment." So obviously, you've been dealing with something. Yeah,
I don't want to push it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just one of those things, ain't it? So.
Well, you're a smarter man than me, mate.
Yeah.
stay
I'm
away.
Too old for it now. I know.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the roundup for last week, and I'm sure we'll have a bit of a chatter about your game as well on Friday.
I'm sure we will.
Summarise in general. So it was a week of extremes. The 3 of the 4 matches were won by 4 or 5 goals to 0 on the pitch, with all but one of those still being comfortable margins of victory once the scales and tracking goals were added. So there were some huge individual losses to celebrate, but only 45 out of 70 players losing weight, and the club as a whole lost a modest 11.6 kilos, a far cry from the 30-something losses that we were seeing regularly in the first few weeks of the season. Although it's another impressive team of the week, which we'll get to in a minute, it's also the case that 3 teams failed to collectively lose weight, and each of the 8 teams had at least 1 own goal this week, as well as at least 2 players putting weight on.
Ooh.
So, I mean, we can do better, I guess, ultimately.
An
I think there's a bit of a
interesting one,
finger wag from Steve in the.
Well, yeah, and I
little bit.
kind of get that because I had a little think about it, and I was like, it's interesting because it's halfway through the season, and are we at the point now where there's teams that are not in it, not in for anything this season? Maybe we're also heading towards a team switch up at the end of the season, which can often disengage people, as well we know. So it's a bit unfortunate, I think. Hopefully that's not a trend going forward. Hopefully it's just a little blip. But only half the league managing a loss, and hearing those sorts of numbers is a bit of a concern. I'd like to think people are still on track and people are still motivated. I know we are. We're trying to be as best we can. So, again, I'd sort of say, lads, come on. We're all here for different reasons, but we're all here to lose weight, basically. So,
I mean, it's a weight loss football league.
Yeah,
weight loss comes first. It's not a football league for guys who need to lose weight. In a weird way, it is you know what I mean. How you'd phrase it. It's a weight loss club essentially.
Yeah.
That uses football as its
conduit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think also I'm not saying that the league needs a reminder of that. I just think sometimes we do get in these kind of phases, don't we? Where I think sometimes we go back and forth, ebbs and flows of it, and particularly as you were saying, towards the end of maybe a rotation, maybe some teams aren't quite as motivated. We find that every single time. So maybe
yeah. Oh, it's definitely
that's just how it comes along. But
yeah.
So but it's trying to find that motivation within yourself, isn't it, for the last few weeks until you get to rotation, and then naturally there's a spring in motivation when we get to a new rotation. So just got to keep plugging away, small choice by small choice, etc.
No full Englishes, Martin.
I had my fair few the other week.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh man. I haven't had a full English in ages, to be fair, but that doesn't mean my diet's been any better. But I just
talk to Martin. He has them regularly.
Yeah.
I've had two in the last week and a half than I've had in the last 6 months. So
I'm only putting your leg, mate.
Yeah. But that second one, that was massive, as you've seen, Ben.
Yeah. I might as well just jump in quickly here, actually, because Mark, he couldn't make it a couple of weeks ago because I can't remember what you were doing. Was it the Valentine's weekend you went? Or because you were injured? It's because you were injured.
I was injured. I got back, didn't I? So
yeah. So decided on a Friday of all days in the afternoon or lunchtime, just to pop a picture in our group chat of the massive fry up he was eating at lunchtime.
It's like on a tray.
Dude, on a Friday, mate. Food porn. It was disgusting.
Good man.
It was. Yeah. I was just jealous, buddy. That's all it was.
Yeah, 15 quid that was.
15 quid well spent, mate.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't finish it to top it off.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Fair play, though. That says quite a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Do you reckon you would have been able to dust one of those off before you started?
Mate, yeah. Possibly, yeah.
Possibly. No, I see.
Well,
Small changes.
Yeah.
It's hard to notice that kind of thing, isn't it, until you go back to that kind of thing. So.
Sometimes, if you're not eating earlier in the day, possibly, but you never know, do you?
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, on to the results then for last week. So the Oranges won another close one, 11-10 against the Reds.
Wow.
Us Yellows lost 10-4 to the Blacks. The Greens won 7-2 against the Whites, and the Blues won your game 14-8 against your Purples.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to hear about it. Are you sure? No, we should hear about it. Surely we got.
Do you know what? It was a game of two halves. It really was, as is an old adage, but it really was. I mean, we were quite. It was quite an even game, really. Getting up to half time. I think we went in at half time 0-0, didn't we, Mark? It was 0-0.
Yeah, 0-0.
Half time, and then half time came and went, and we unfortunately let an early goal in the second half, and they got a quick second one, and then we gave away a soft penalty. And then we kind of, our heads went down and we just capitulated a little bit, and we made a few silly mistakes. People got tired, and it wasn't ideal. So we ended up losing 5-0 on the pitch, which is not like us. We don't normally get pumped, but for some reason we just didn't quite get our act together in the second half last week. And then, to be fair, we wouldn't have won on the scales anyway. Rye hit a percentage, so well done to him. It would have been. If we'd have kept it close on the pitch, it would have been close. There'd have been a goal or two in it, but Blue still did more in the weight, so we wouldn't have won anyway. So no, fair play to them, and that puts them clear top, doesn't it?
Well, yes, so I'm sure we'll come to that in the rest of the roundup. But I do actually have something, because Jack isn't here, but he did send me a little bit of a voice message on.
Oh, did he? Oh, go on. He's probably expecting me to give him some jip, but I was
so
like, no.
I'll play it here and then go and listen to it. So
it'll make me laugh.
How are we doing, gents? Gutted to be missing tonight's recording for the podcast, and also obviously gutted to be missing Martin on the podcast, who's done phenomenally well since he's joined. So all credit to you, mate. Buzzing to hear how you've done it and how things are going for you. Obviously myself and Ben and Martin had the podcast derby on a Friday night, which was an eventful game, fierce competitive game. So I want to congratulate Purples on that, but inevitably the Super Blues come out victorious, and a massive shout out to Super Ryan Broadbank for hitting a milestone, and the rest of the boys absolutely smashing it off the pitch. And we march on. Let's go Blues. Cheers, boys.
I know, right? He had to record something, didn't he? Because
of course he did.
He hasn't been here to grill you and not gloat, but he
loves a gloat, does Jack? They did play. They did play really well second half. They were, at the end of the day, we couldn't respond. So it is what it is. We were carrying a few knocks. Martin's been injured. I had a bit of a sore calf. Kyle's been injured, so we were kind of on bare bones really. We were missing. Bill wasn't there. Jogs weren't there. So they're two big influential players for us on the pitch. So they're a big miss when they're not there. So is what it is. But we meet again, and like Jack said last week, we meet in the last game of the season, and there's nothing to say that won't maybe have a deciding factor in the league. Even if we're not in it by that point, we might have a say in where the Blues end up doing what they look like they're doing. But it's going to be tight. We'll stick in there, and as we know, no team has ever retained the title of the main league in our 12 season history. So it's a tough ask, and we know it's a tough ask, but we'll keep going, won't we, Mark? We'll keep plugging away, mate.
We'll do what we do, and that's it, really.
Yeah,
you're not going to win every game, are you?
Nah.
That's the way it is.
That's the thing. I think just credit to people in the league. People are going to show up. They're going to like Ryan's hit a milestone, and it's been a big decisive thing, even if the pitch was closer. So and those are the swings as such.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well done. I do need to say, Jimmy texted me to say he wanted to apologise to specifically to Sid, Harry, and Jack for losing his head. He got inside his own head a little bit, and there was a few words spoken, and I think he immediately regretted it afterwards. So quite admirable from Jim there to sort of try and brush over the incidents, let's say.
Okay. Well, I wasn't there, so I don't know about these incidents, Ben.
There was a few questionable incidents. And obviously we didn't have our usual ref as well. So poor old Sid was roped into reffing, and a hats off to anyone who volunteers to ref who isn't a ref. I wouldn't do it, especially down there, knowing what lads are like. So no hard feelings from anyone, I don't think. What's done is done. It was on the pitch. It's now move on to the next week. So kudos to the Blues for the victory.
Well, I think maybe we should move on to the rest of the roundup and
the rest of the league.
Involved.
There are other teams. Apologies, lads. Great win for the Oranges, right? 1 goal in it.
They came from 4-0 down on the pitch to earn a hard-fought win against the Reds. 6 players lost weight in the team, with all but one of those scoring either a hat-trick or a milestone to tip the tie their way. So the one who only lost weight was Captain Adam White. Must try harder, Adam, but I must try harder, obviously, on that one. It was a harsh defeat for the Reds, who had a milestone man of their own.
Yeah, that's tough.
And who lost more weight, 6.2 kilos, than any other team this week.
They're the tough ones to take, those.
I know.
When you win 4-0 on the pitch, you get a milestone and you still lose, and you lose by a goal.
That's gutting.
That's really gutting. Yeah. Sorry, Reds, man, that's tough.
That's credit to the Oranges, isn't it? In their impressive run on the scales.
Yeah.
As we always say, the scales wins the championship, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, it does.
The only game that was close on the pitch was Greens versus Whites, which ended 3-2 to the resurgent Greens, although scales and tracking widened the margin of victory to 5. Blues and Blacks were also comfortable winners on and off the pitch, as we mentioned. So 14 hat-tricks to celebrate last week, with 3 milestones as well. With a satisfying... I don't even know how he's read it. I might have to come back to that.
With a satisfying
escalation, I think he's put, of achievement. I think I might have to, yeah. Brian Daly reached his 5%, a feat all the more impressive after injury forced him to switch to a non-playing medical membership.
Ah,
just some good going that one.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Jordan Mohammed made his 10%.
Well done.
Suffering the frustration of seeing Brian cancel out the benefit of his 3-goal bonus and deny Jordan's Reds a victory, but very well done there, Jord.
Yeah, well done.
Best of all this week, Ryan Broadbank, as we mentioned, joins the 15% club. So Ryan has lost 18.6 kilos from his base weight and narrowly misses out on retaining his place in Team of the Week with a highly creditable 1.7 kilo loss. So well done, Ryan, Jordan, and Brian. So keep it up.
Yeah, well done, lads. Fantastic effort.
Good go. Several fallers in last man standing. Leaving was 17 still.
Yeah, we was us talking about it last week. It'll be ages before they all drop out. We're at 17.
Quite a number, yeah. So just 2 away from the lucrative last 15. If you're one of the survivors this week, it's worth digging deep to keep losing now rather than hand the bonus goals to another team. So maybe the one you're playing next. You never know. So Team of the Week sees 3 huge scorers at the top end, with Ash Sinclair celebrating his recent return to the club by topping off on 4.3 kilos.
Yeah,
which is massive. I know.
That's huge.
Yeah, no. 2 others, Luke Cage and Jordan Mohammed, must have thought they'd been the biggest loser, having each shed more than 3 kilos. So that's mad, isn't it? Yeah, respect and applause in equal measure to all 3. So here's the full lineup. So we had Ash Sinclair with 4.3 kilos. Luke Cage lost 3.4 kilos.
Well done, Lukey.
Lukey. Jordan Mohammed lost 3.3 kilos. Michael Pearson lost 2.4 kilos. Sam Bailey lost 2.2 kilos. Lewis Vaselina Turner lost 1.9 kilos.
Where from?
I know, right? And Sam Denton lost 1.9 kilos.
Brilliant.
Yeah, very good going. So really another week with plenty to celebrate, but also plenty of room for improvement, as we mentioned at the top. Despite the impressive Team of the Week, the vast majority of this week's losers lost 1 kilo or less. So that's not a bad thing. Potentially a good sign of steady, sustainable losses. On the other hand, more than a third of those who weighed in endured a gain. So well done for embracing the accountability of turning up to those who did, unlike myself. But as a club, we can do better, and we will. So we go again. I should just clarify that last thing. If I had turned up, I would have lost weight. It's just that I couldn't last minute.
Mate. Well done.
I'm pretty confident anyway. So we'll see when we come to this week.
Good.
How well it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well
done.
That's the roundup. There was one thing I just was going to follow on from.
Go on.
And that was our belts stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Into round 2 so far. I think we're 2 weeks into round 2.
Go on.
So in the lightweight category, Matt Waterman, 1.2 kilos and third.
I don't know where he's losing it from either.
I know. It's in maintenance, isn't he?
Yeah. How can you lose 1.2 kilo when you're in maintenance?
Well, yeah, we were saying, by the way, me and Ben, when we were at football yesterday, we were just saying it's really noticeable in terms of how he moves around the pitch now. And how much he can move around the pitch up and down. I don't know, because I've actually never been there, so maybe it's for Matt to tell us. I don't know anyone else who's been in that situation. But at least from my perspective, it's quite noticeable. I find, from when he joined to where he is now in terms of just his ability to get around. He's already a fantastic player, but when you add the fitness and the extra agility in what first step you get from losing that weight, and I imagine just the extra, the way
he's everywhere though, isn't he?
The whole bottom half of your body is just much easier to move, isn't it? Because you don't have the weight above it. So so it's very noticeable. I will say. So it's very impressive, and
it's good to watch. It's good to watch. Exactly. Good to be a teammate too.
Yeah. Paul Harding, I should say, he's lost 1.7 in the 2 weeks, so he's second in the lightweight category. Okay. And then Brian Daly is top with 2 kilo loss in that category. Yeah.
Well done.
In the middleweight category, Michael Pearson's lost 2.4 kilos. Nice. Ryan Broadbank in second with 2.9 kilos.
The current champion.
I know, the
reigning champion.
He's the current heavyweight champion. Ryan Broadbank,
okay.
I should say.
Oh, so he's going to be champion in middleweight as well, potentially.
Jesus.
Look at it, sweeping up.
Yeah, and on the top of the middleweight category at the moment with 3.6 kilos is Jordan Muhammad.
Jordan, really good. Yeah, really good.
Into the heavyweight category here. So Josh Buxton, no surprise, in the top 3, 2.6 kilos.
Fair play.
But he, unfortunately, is third, I should say. So 2.8 kilos, Sam Troughton. He's second.
Well done, Sammy.
And then currently leading the heavyweight category, Ash Sinclair with 3.8 kilos.
And that's in 1 week.
Wow.
Yes, it's across 2 weeks, but mostly all in 1 week.
Yeah, fair play. Well done, lads.
Very good.
Some good figures in there.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Really.
So another couple of weeks left of that. I'll be crowning our round 2 champions. Anyway, Martin, we've got you here. We've kept you long enough before.
Yes.
So I think this is the kind of thing where we tend to do a bit of icebreaking first. So we just ask you a few questions. I never actually asked you if you're a football fan. And I know that sounds like a strange question, but I think you'd be surprised about the number of people in the league who aren't like huge football fans. So are you a football fan, first of all?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
And okay then. So who is your team? Who do you support?
There's only one team. It's Liverpool.
Oh, should have warned me, lads.
Sorry, Josh.
God, you and Matt Loving on that team as well.
Just
talking about non-stop. Fair enough. I understand. I'm not going to take it away for you. Potential Premier League champions.
Where's that come from then, Mark? Where's that connection come from?
Well, strangely enough, my granddad, he's from Leicester. He's obviously a Leicester fan, and back in 83 or 84, he put it on the telly and said, "Look, this is the best team in the world." And Liverpool went on to win it, so they went from there. Yeah, they were the best team in the world.
They were at that point, definitely.
Yeah, yes, they were. And, Dalglish and all that, it was just
good old-fashioned glory boy.
Yeah. That was
fair.
I never looked back, but I always look on Leicester because it's where my granddad was from, so
that's
one of those.
Yeah. A 2-teamer as well. I know you're not. I'm not going to claim you are, unlike me or Jack.
I used to, when I was a kid, I lived in Kent, so I always go watch Gillingham when I can do.
Yeah.
And I was born in Plymouth, so I always look out for their results as well. So
it's funny, isn't it? You do when you do move around the country. Yeah, I do, because I lived in Sutton for a bit, so I keep an eye on Sutton. And I'm originally from Hastings, so I keep an eye on Brighton. They were our local teams, so it's funny places you live.
Fair enough.
I'd say I did live in Brentford for a bit as well, but of course I can't possibly follow Brentford being a super hoop. That would just be wrong, and it would make me vomit everywhere. So I
couldn't.
Fair enough. So, have you got a favourite player from past or present from Liverpool? Is there any a collection of players?
Wow, there's quite a few. Obviously, loads across the back line. John Henry, Carragher.
Yeah. What What do you think of him as a pundit, by the way?
Yeah,
now?
you can't write Carragher as a player, surely.
As a player, fine. I
Yeah,
kind of
he's
get
a
that on some level.
player. You know, he was good. He wasn't great. He scored quite a few own goals and that, but you know, I'm trying to score some. But,
Yeah, you do, mate, regularly.
Yeah, no, they're all good. You know, players. I love them. Yeah, Mobley and
He was a player.
yeah, they're all brilliant players. And Steven Gerrard. He's magical, and he could play absolutely anywhere.
Yeah.
He had done, hasn't he? He's played in goal up front, so
yeah.
It's funny. I was listening to Jamie Carragher this week talking about Gerrard versus Salah in terms of Liverpool great, because he was talking about how Salah kind of just accepts he's a guy who is a moments guy. Like he's not all the time, but he's always pops up in the right moments, and that's why he's so prolific. Whereas Gerrard just wanted to be everywhere and do everything all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where you'd find him playing left or right back sometimes, or left. Whereas I don't know. It's just, and so it's really difficult to compare them as like who's the greatest Liverpool player. And
you can never
this,
compare any player because every player has a different ability and what they can do on the pitch and where they can be and what Gerrard can ping a ball 90 yards. You're not going to see Salah do that at all, are you?
No, not really. Yeah, to be fair, not that far anywhere.
No.
Yeah, fair enough. You got any favourite memories of being a Liverpool fan?
It's too many, isn't there?
Too many. I love that.
It's too many. I remember, Istanbul. I went into a pub to watch it because obviously I couldn't go or whatever. I couldn't afford it. It's just one of those things. I went to the pub and I was the only Liverpool fan in there. It was completely dead. And obviously we went 3-0 down.
Mm-hmm.
It was. And I was like, I'm going to go home now. At half time, we're losing. That's it. And this little old lady went, "They're going to win, love. Just sit in there and you'll be fine." And I thought she's mad. And off she went. And she was quite right. So
she was, mate.
That was.
I think Gerrard won it on his own that night, didn't he?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. He drags the team everywhere, don't he? So he was magical.
He's also, unfortunately, not at fault. It's not his fault. But he has, unfortunately, got the biggest thing about slipping for winning the title as well, which is the other end of the spectrum. But obviously, no one can really blame him for that. It's just so unfortunate. But he's done wonders, hasn't he, for so many years.
Yeah.
So just you never know. Anyway,
do you reckon he'll end up being manager of Liverpool at some point?
No. I can't see it.
He'll end up doing something there, though, won't he? When he end up being, he'll be like director of football or something. They'll make up some role for him. Then surely he's in the same sort of league as almost probably as Dalglish, not as a manager, obviously, but Rush, those kind of players.
He may go into that sort of advisory role or something similar, as Dalglish is now or whatever. So who knows? But the way he didn't do great. Well, he hasn't done well in the Middle East, has he? So
no, but I think he's still quite early in his career. I think he's got enough to. Like we were talking about Rooney the other week, weren't we? About him, he's not had much success, but there are players like that. It's good that they're still involved in the game and they're still wanting to be involved in football. Because a lot of players bugger off and buy property and live the life living down in Barbados or whatever on their yachts, blah blah blah. But these boys
Dion Dublin doing Homes Under the Hammer.
Well, but it's great that they're that he's still actively involved and wants to be coaching, wants to be managing, and I think that's really good for him. Maybe. And I'd love to see him. I would really love him to go back to Liverpool as a manager or some sort of role there and go on to do something. I think that'd be quite poetic for him.
Yeah, if he managed to be a bit successful here in the UK for someone, then
or even in the England setup. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing him involved in the England setup. Really.
Well, we were saying this, weren't we, about Rooney? Like maybe the thing for I know Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney are kind of the typical. You would say there's the argument about the fact that they got roles because of their history as footballers and not because their ability as coaches.
Yeah.
But I do admire them all still going, even if they've had setbacks, as you were saying. But maybe being in the England setup alongside someone like Tuchel is a good thing for them.
Yeah, because they get
or alongside some seriously top manager. I'm not saying you'd be able to say, "Oh, get Gerrard over to them in the assistant manager at bloody Man City alongside Pep or whatever." But you know what I'm saying. You just
totally.
It's get somewhere like that maybe if they're willing to do it instead of maybe taking on a Championship or a League One or League Two side for a bit. So I don't know. Just a thought. I mean, I'd like to see all those kind of players back where
totally.
Rooney involved in Man United at some point in his career, or Everton for his perspective maybe, or Gerrard involved in Liverpool. So that kind of thing. Whether it's an ambassadorial thing or
I'd love it.
Yeah. So it's always quite nice, isn't it? Okay, mate. Liverpool fan. I think we'll move on from the Liverpool part. No, to be fair, at least Man City won't win the league this year. I was going to say.
No, that's very true. I think Liverpool are winning tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, they are at the moment. I think.
Half time, 1-0.
1-0.
I've not even looked yet. So
sorry, mate.
Sorry.
You're not recording it, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll shut up. I won't tell you anymore.
Ben will give me minute updates.
I'll stop.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know the Man United score, Man United 3-2 up against.
It's gone 3-2, is it?
Oh.
Yeah. Slabhead, absolute bullet header.
Was he?
It was 2-2 at half time. Man United are down to 10. As you can imagine.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. In the first half, they lost one. So anyway, no, enough of that. Yeah. So your history, mate.
Here we go.
Family fat and various other things. So normally I like to ask a bit of an icebreaker on the weight side of things because different people have different histories with weight.
Yeah.
Some people have always struggled with it. Some people not so much. And they've just put weight on through various circumstances, etc.
Yep.
And as you'll note from the league, there are varying different people. Some people have come in and they don't actually look like they need not to lose a lot of weight, but they want to lose a few kilos here and there. And some people come in, who've maybe kind of let go a bit and they need to lose a lot of weight in their eyes. So where are you? What's your history of weight been? Have you've always struggled, or is it something you just steadily put on?
I steadily put on for since about mid-20s. I started putting weight on and going out and eating crap and all that. It just all adds up, don't it? Then 4 years ago this year I ruptured my Achilles and I went from 17 stone up until last year when I was almost 22 stone. Without I was doing no exercise. I was having problems with my leg anyway, and it just all added up.
Fair enough. Do you mind me asking how old you are now? Is that all right? Is that too?
Yeah, no, I'm 47 now.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so been 20 odd years, I guess. Is that fair to say? Also, fair enough. Yeah.
Because you played quite a lot of football as a youngster, right?
Yeah. No, I've played football since about 4 or 5 years old. I've been playing football, kids football, then youth football, then obviously at the age of 16 I went into the men's league, So
nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. That's very impressive.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I went when I was 16. I started playing like men's five-a-side at Paul Sports Centre up in the Dolphin there, and basically it was like Fight Club. It wasn't football. It was just everyone kicking several barrels out of each other, basically. But you learn to react quicker in those sort of games and that. So, but I ain't got that now. So,
as I said, was there a point where you kind of just stopped playing, or was it just?
Well, I sort of slowed down 6 years ago. I stopped playing 11-side because all the younger kids are starting to go past me, and you're like, yeah, I just kicked them up in the air, sort of thing. It didn't bother me. But the yellow cards every week weren't helping either. But I enjoyed it. I still play now. But,
yeah.
Leather side. But
so it was your injury that put a stop to you playing, really, was it? Did you injure yourself
obviously,
playing the game?
Obviously, lockdown come and all football stopped in there. Then when we could return, second game back, that's when I ruptured my Achilles.
Shit.
So, and until last year when I come back to Man v Fat, that's the first time I play football.
Yeah, because I remember when you signed up, you were quite worried about it, weren't you? You weren't sure how it was going to react because it's the first time you played since that injury. Now, how has it been?
It's fine. It's fine. It does hurt quite a lot some of the time. Sometimes it don't.
Yeah.
I'm still worried about getting kicked there because it bloody hurts.
Yeah. You've had a couple of knocks this season, haven't you?
Yeah, and last season as well.
Yeah.
And like the first 3 or 4 games I played the season before that, the end of when I first joined.
Yeah.
I couldn't come to the end of the season awards, could I? Because I basically couldn't walk at the end of it.
Yeah.
So, but it happens, and we just got to move on and do that best I can. Each week.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Fair play.
In terms of the Man v Fat stuff, then how did you come to start Man v Fat, and what's the history of that? How did you find out, really? And
well, obviously Jason Court one day just said, "Oh, you need to come play football again." Well, I never played football with him. He said, "You'd like this. It'd be something you're interested in." And he explained it all, and I was like, "Okay, I like the sound of that." So within a week and a half, I was signed up and played the first game.
Yeah. When was this then? How long ago was this, if you don't mind me? Can't remember.
It was the season before last, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just towards the end of the first season of the new rotation. So, halfway through. Yeah, I think roughly.
About 8 months ago, then. Yeah, 9 months.
Yeah, about three games I played.
Yeah. Towards the end of that.
It wasn't many.
Yeah.
But you'd already sorry, Josh, don't just step on your toes, mate. You'd already started losing weight, hadn't you? At that point, you were actively dieting. What sort of thing were you doing at that point?
In the start of the summer, I started Slimming Well because obviously I was going shopping for clothes, and you're going and nothing was fitting. And I was like, something's got to change, and that's what I started. And even before I started Man v Fat, I lost 10% of my body weight then.
Great.
Wow.
So you'd already lost how much in sort of actual weight was that before you started Man vs Fat?
About 1.5 stone or something I lost.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, it was a fair bit before I started.
Very good. Very good. And when you join Man v Fat, if you don't mind me asking, I'm going to ask you some numbers. So, what did you weigh when you started? Do you know? You don't. Oh, you just don't say.
I can't remember. 120 something kilos or.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, something like that. 127 or 8 or something.
Yeah.
Kilos.
What did you weigh last time you weighed in there? How much have you lost so far?
I'm down to 114 or something.
Okay, fair enough. So it's a couple of stone then. So you're doing well. Yeah. Good going. Yeah.
Well, you've hit your 10%, haven't you? You've hit 5 and your 10%. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And like in my slimming world, I'm 3 or 4 pound off being, losing 4 stone. So
that's amazing.
So you still involved in Slimming World then?
Yeah, I still do that. I get weighed in Saturday morning as well. So
brilliant. So
double weigh-in.
Yeah,
that's good though. That protects you after the post-match manger, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's so weird sometimes. I could go like on Friday night, Steve will say, "Oh, you've lost 0.1 kg." Like in the morning, I've lost about £4, £5. You're like, how?
Yeah.
I've not done anything. I've played a little bit of football and I've gone to bed, and next morning you've lost that. And it's like, something's not adding up somewhere, but
it's a strange old thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's the main things that you've done then? Obviously Slimming World is very it's very food based, right? It's all got your points and your sins and all that kind of stuff. So that's obviously worked for you?
Yeah.
Are you doing that independently, or is your partner doing that as well, or how is it working for you?
My wife does it as well, so we do it together, and we follow don't follow it religiously. We'll go out on a Sunday afternoon. We go out to our club and have a few drinks and that. But, you got to enjoy life, haven't you?
So it sounds like you've hit quite a nice balance.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
Have you struggled at any point during the journey so far? Have you felt like there's anything you still struggle with?
No, just
couple full English every now and then.
Yeah. The Chinese, you've got that, and the KFC as well.
You did all right over Christmas, though, didn't you? You didn't go bonkers over Christmas.
No, I put, in my Slimming World, apparently I put £10.5 on.
Really?
Yeah. From my weigh-in before Christmas to the weigh-in after Christmas, I put £10.5 on.
Wow.
But I lost that within, 2 weeks again. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shock, isn't it? Really, when you go from one extreme to the other, almost. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the week I weren't there at weigh-in, I would have put £6 on, because that's what in the morning when I went to Slimming World, he's like, "Oh, you put £6.5 on."
Yeah.
Last week, and when I come back to football on Friday, I lost £1.5. So
yeah,
I lost it.
Very good, yeah.
So
well, it's clearly working, mate. So the plan to continue with that same sort of thing?
Yeah. I just continue to follow Slimming World, what I do, and carry on as
enjoy your Sunday afternoon beers and your lunchtime full English.
We're not going to get over the full English bit, are we?
No. I'll take you at the end of the season, Ben.
Yeah, cheers, mate. We'll bang up for that, mate. Bang up for that. That would be my death, mate. Honestly, I can't tell you. That would be my death row meal. My death row meal would be full English. Yeah, 100%. You can't beat it.
No. That or a shepherd's pie would be mine.
Shepherd's pie. I do like a shepherd's pie. Is there
one or the other?
I'm a bit curious actually with the Slimming World side of things, because I've never been involved in Slimming World. I think those who are listening who have been involved, they'll know all about it. But are there certain things therefore that you don't eat because of that? And I assume because you're cutting those things out, that would help. I don't know what that would be. So
there is there's in moderation of all sorts of stuff, really. Everything's got a sin value. Some things have 0 sins, like fruit and veg. Healthy stuff, basically.
Yeah, it's a general categorization of what's healthy and what's not, I guess.
Yeah, just general sort of stuff. But then like people say, you should never eat potatoes and pasta when dieting. I have that all the time on Slimming World. If I'm losing weight, I can't.
Yeah. It's the moderation thing, isn't it? I think that's a common myth. I mean, a lot of people, I know it'd be interesting actually to compare it to James, because if you look at James, who's also on our team, who's lost a phenomenal amount of weight, who's now in maintenance, he basically cut out practically all carbs. And I know that Matt is also not a massive fan of the Slimming World thing because of the carb situation, but I think it's all about the moderation side of it. I think you can. I mean, I think the problem with the Slimming World is they say, is potatoes 0 sins? Is that what they class it as?
Yeah.
Which I think is a bit strange, because if you did eat a shed load of potatoes and a shed load of pasta, that you're not going to lose weight consistently. I think that it's got to be moderation. It's got to be. So
does it control portion size then as well on some level? because or is it because potatoes are 0 sins, as you were saying? You can have as basically as much as you want, and it makes no difference whatsoever, according to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious, honestly, because I've never really been involved in it. Because, I mean, it makes basic sense to me that if you had a chocolate bar and that's what, I don't know, 4 or 5 sins or whatever you're going to class it as.
Yeah.
It's just you've got to limit your sins. I guess that makes in general sense. But
yeah.
I guess
how do you find it with the weigh-in? Is it properly female dominant? Like we hear a lot about people don't like it because it's very geared towards women, and that's why men kind of don't engage with it. Is that what it's like?
Yeah, it's a lot of older women. You know, at the one we go to, there's 5 or 6 men in it, so
fair play. So there's a few guys there.
There is a few guys there, you know, and sometimes I stay because they have a meeting afterwards. Sometimes I stay and sometimes I don't. So
you've won quite a few awards now, and you got Slimmer of the Week a few times.
Yeah, I got Slimmer of the Week a few times, Slimmer of the Month a few times. Obviously, we have a 1.5 stone, 1.5, and say what up to 3.5 stone now. So just waiting to get my 4th now.
How do they compare to your Man vs Fat League Champions medal?
Well, I got something to hang around my neck. And to win that in in my first full season, that was wonderful.
Very big part of it, mate. Massive part of it.
Yeah. It meant a lot to not playing football to winning something again. It's wonderful.
Yeah, well, you smashed
team
it, mate.
effort as well, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Huge.
Yeah.
I think that's what's. So I was going to ask you actually, what did you think of the league when you first joined? Because I don't know how much Jason had told you about it before you joined. What did you think of it when you started?
Yeah, he sort of explained it, but after the first game when Ben put in the chat, we won this, and I was like, how? Because I didn't really understand. And then he explained, I was like, I get it now. So
yeah, you couldn't believe the scoreline, could you?
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, what the? Yeah, because it was like 18-6 or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? How? We only scored 3 goals or something. But, it was wonderful to have that sort of.
Still enjoying it,
yeah. Not last week, but
I guess he swings around about.
But he's getting more and more mobile, aren't you, mate? And you're getting further and further up the pitch. He's gonna score a screamer at some point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just need to be injury free for that, but
bless you. Well, it'll come. I think it's like we were saying about Matt. It's really noticeable how much because he's lost so much weight. He's now so much more agile around the pitch, and obviously you're not carrying that away around with you. So as the weight comes off, the more agile you get, the easier it is for you to move. You'll be banging him in, mate. I'm sure.
Yeah,
chuck you up top against the Blues last game of the season.
Yes.
Well, I'm giving it away if I bet. Sorry.
Rats. Like last season against Stu. I went up, so I was blowing out my arse after that. After about the first half, that was me done.
You nearly threw up on the sideline, mate.
Yeah, I know. It was terrible. Yeah. It was fun.
Fair enough.
The best thing I took from that is when one of the balls was played over the top, and you was marking me, Josh, and I flicked it with the outside of my boot. It went round you. I went the other side, but I didn't catch up with it. Then you come back and you went, "You've done me there."
Yeah, you did.
I've done myself as well, but
yeah, that was brilliant. To be fair, so I was
yeah. I had no idea there what I was going to do, but executing it was another thing.
We have to try and get you eventually down in a midweek game.
Yeah.
If you're up to it, of course. If you feel like you, because I understand injuries are, we've all been there. It's a nightmare. Obviously, you've got something that's maybe I'm not saying it's long term, but I guess you would just continue to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, having the knock the other week, that has slowed me down a little bit, but it's getting better.
What's the long-term prognosis on that? Does it heal completely, or will it always be a bit of a problem?
I don't know. You know what the NHS are like. They didn't never. In my physio, because it was still like restricted and everything. My physio wasn't that great either. So.
Right. Oh, because it was through COVID, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't even have proper physio off the back of it.
No, I didn't. I had about 3 or 4 sessions. That was about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got it on your own back in it to kind of do the exercises, which we know is not easy to do.
No,
if you've got to constantly.
And for like a year and a half afterwards, I was still getting cramps nearly every other night in my leg. Yeah. And they're not little cramps; they are painful cramps, and it was horrible. I hated it, and and I had spasms in the leg as well. That didn't help either. But I don't have that now, which is a good thing. But the worry's always there.
Yeah, I can imagine those sorts of injuries are really difficult mentally to get over as well. And I know Jack's spoken about his knee, and it's when you put that extra weight on it, you think, oh shit, should I be doing that? Because it could go again, and it's having that confidence mentally to actually be able to do that, and that must be tough. So, well, keep going, mate. I mean, what you're doing is great, and you're solid on the pitch, and long may it continue, and just keep strapping it up, I guess, bud.
Yeah.
As you were just saying, if you're not struggling quite so much from the cramps, obviously you're doing something that's maybe it's just the loss of the weight or the extra fitness and strength that you put through it, I guess, a little bit here and there. Or, so you know what I mean? If you're doing a little bit extra activity, that maybe all those things, they contribute, don't they?
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I'm back in the gym now. This week I managed to, on Tuesday I managed to do a nice Couch to 5K week 1 again. Starting
well
all
done,
over
mate.
again.
Running actually on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Oh, fair play. How have you found that?
Well, because I started it a couple of weeks ago and I mentioned it to you guys on the chat.
Yeah.
And then I got crocked a couple of weeks before. 4 weeks ago, I got hit and it put a stop to that straight away. So, I carried on going on the bike, which was okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got knocked the other week. That was, that's hindered me. But yesterday, I thought I just got to get on the treadmill and start again and see how it goes.
Oh, very good, mate.
It went fine. I done because it's 8 1 minutes runs basically.
Yeah.
And I was, I done them perfectly fine. So, it's
fair play, mate.
It's better. Yeah. So, I managed to complete the week 1 again. So,
well done,
starting
mate.
all over
brilliant.
again.
It's brilliant.
Be
fair.
That's the good thing about that, though, isn't it? You can go back. I mean, you don't have to keep pushing through. If you struggle on a week, just go back and repeat a week. It's a good incentive.
Because you can do it. If something's tough, you ain't got to struggle, and then if you struggle, then you give up on it and you won't go back to it. So
absolutely,
go back to something you can do and do that for a few weeks if you have to, and carry on that way.
Yeah, because you're on the bike, you're doing this on a not on a actual bike, but you're on a exercise bike.
I was punting. I was doing an hour sessions on that, which was about 35k in terms if you was on the road or whatever.
That's got to be pretty good for an Achilles, isn't it, on a bike, because you get that sort of rotation, stretching.
It's not bad. I mean, I rode to work a few times from here in Parkstone to Christchurch and on my bike. And it ain't too bad if you're on the flat, but if you're going up hills, which Parkstone is hell.
Yes.
And some of it going out into Christchurch and that. There's not many hills, but it does
enough.
It didn't help.
Yeah. No, fair play.
I'd done it a couple of times. And I thought, I can't do this. It's too much. So once the sun comes out a bit more, maybe I'll give it a go at bash again.
Scale it back on the exercise bike and go from there.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I do love that though, as you say. If you're in a struggle with something, don't try and push you through it. Just take a step back, do something you can, and then build from there again.
Yeah.
So great advice, mate. Yeah, really good advice. Really good advice. Because I think we're all guilty of that to some degree. I've just been guilty of that just this last week. Taking a step forward, where going back to my usual routine where I probably shouldn't have. And now I need to take a step back again. Not that I've done anything more, but just need to take a step back and then find something else just to do in the meantime, and then slowly build back again. So,
it's the same. Like, obviously older now. When I was younger, if I got a knock at football, the following week I'd be there again. Carrying a knock, and I'd play through it. But making it worse. But to me,
can't do it as us old boys now, can we, mate?
Knock, I'm like that. No, that's it.
Out for a couple of weeks.
I'm going to sit here and watch and.
I meant to ask you, Martin. Actually, do you have an end goal in mind? If not, I guess what's the next step? How do you take it step by step?
I'm just going to plod on as long as I can. I was aiming to get down to 15 stone to start off with, then see where I go from there.
No blame, mate.
Okay. So do you just see one kind of big goal at the end, and you're just going to keep going and just trying to go slowly, or do you just kind of get into small kind of goals, as in I want to lose X weight this week, or
No, I don't set. Because every day changes, weeks change, and everything. So food wise and everything else, there's some weeks where I've been absolutely bang on it and I've not lost anything. I've stayed the same weight. And some weeks I've had God knows what to eat, and I've lost 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds.
Full English. The
other week I lost 2.3 kg in Man v Fat. But then again, 2 days before that, I had half a French stick with full English in. So
half a French stick with full English in it.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's amazing. Where'd you get that? It?
At some Mighty Bites up on Ringwood Road.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's brilliant though, right? Because clearly you have made a conscious effort to make a lot of changes, and it's clearly worked for you, but yet you still can do those kind of things, and it's not having a massive negative effect on you. And I think that's a really important message to people that are struggling, that you don't have to completely cut everything that you like out. You don't have to do that. As long as it's moderated and you don't do it every day of the week, you can have those moments. You can go out to dinner and enjoy yourself and indulge a little bit, as long as you don't do it every day. I think is the key message there, and it clearly is working for you. How are you feeling sort of mentally and physically as a result of that? Are you feeling do you notice a big difference in the way you are?
I don't know. When I look at myself, I feel like I've not lost weight or anything.
Yeah.
I know I have, because I'm putting clothes on and you're like,
they're massive.
Who's there? I got a pair of shorts that I haven't put on for ages, because I don't know how they fitted me once, but this morning I put them on. I was like, Jesus, they fit again.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? You don't when it's yourself, you don't notice it at all.
I think I'm still that massive man in the mirror, but I'm not.
Did you bother with a before picture? Do you have any pictures that you kind of sort of look back on and go, I don't want to be like that anymore?
I've got one that I took a few years ago, and I saw it the other day and I thought, oh God. I'm not sharing that with anyone because I look awful.
Yeah, I think that it's quite interesting, isn't it? I think a lot of people who come, especially through this program, do have that moment where they see a picture. We talk about it all the time, where people see there's a picture where they've been taken at a funny angle, or they don't know it's been taken and it's like at a party or whatever, and they see a picture and they literally go, I cannot believe that's me. I can't believe I look like that. I need to do something about that.
No, there is that. It is one of those when you do look at those photos and you think, oh god,
I want to get like that again. It's
funny,
funny,
definitely, it is.
It's funny. I kind of had one of those moments when we had the 11s photo from last week.
Did you?
Yeah, because I put some weight back on. You know, I've gone through this whole story.
Yeah.
And I just looked at myself again. I thought, I mean, that's what I used to swear. That's what I used to look like before I even started. And I could see from photos from last year, especially when we were at the Birmingham Awards.
Yeah.
How much different I looked then. To what it looked like. I know I'm wearing different things. I was wearing a suit in that one, obviously. There's a little bit of a difference, but like
a very slimming suit as well. I must say.
Well, thank you. But I see. I do that sometimes. And I think also, but I've got to take that with a little bit of pinch of salt, because I don't want it to then start making me feel worse about myself, and you don't want it to then think, spiral from there. It's more just a motivational tool, and that's what I kind of want to see it as, So I think as we've kind of all been there, really. Sorry to bring it to me. I was just I had a good example. So
I know it's I mean, I bought a belt a couple of months back now. It was quite a pricey belt. I bought it because my jeans were a little bit loose. I thought, yeah, that's fine. And only 2 weeks later, I was like, it didn't fit me at all. It was mad.
It's too big now.
It was too big. I was like, how? But they're obvious signs. Clothes, belts, and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I was gutted because it wasn't. Well, I've lost the weight. I spent that money on that belt, and now
well, punch a few extra holes in it, mate.
That's what I was thinking.
The other way round, it's a nightmare because you can't. But if you're losing weight, just keep banging holes in it, mate.
Yeah. Well, it'll go double round me soon.
I might set a goal like that. I might just buy a belt and then
buy a belt and see how many holes you have to punch.
Just see how many holes I have to punch before an inch apart, literally an inch apart. How many holes? I guess easy way in it to know.
Yeah.
So amazing.
There is that. But then you're getting clothes like now. You're putting on the well, that's going in the bin now. And it's
I think a few people like that, innit? If you lose the weight and you've gone past the clothes that don't fit you, the first instinct is, I just need to get rid of this now, because it's just like I think it's nice to keep one just as a reference, just like this is where I was. But I think like one shirt, for example, but you kind of want to get rid of it because it's also just exciting to go, I have to buy some new clothes. And you were saying, Martin, as well, like you used to go shopping, you're like, I can't, nothing fits you on the shelf. But it's funny because I think you'll get to that point where it does. And then as soon as you'll have that kind of eureka moment, it's like, oh my god, I can buy off the shelf. I do this with things like jeans, and that jeans are a really good example for me. Like there are places now, because they're starting to cater a little bit, some of your standard shops, starting to cater for a little bit bigger. But I know plenty of people who have to go online deliberately for sizes for big guys, and buying, 40 plus, 40 something inch waists, that kind of thing for jeans. And I remember, again, I was saying to you, Ben, back in June last year, it was the first time in a while I was able to go into a shop and they had my size. In like a jean. Like I could get into a pair of jeans off the shelf, nice and I didn't feel like, and everywhere I went, they would have that size. Which was a completely new experience for me. Like, it's just nothing I've been done for. I say not completely new, but at least for the last decade. So, I look forward to that again.
And you will, mate. And you will.
Yeah.
But then again, on the flip side, some shops, jean sizes vary so much.
Oh God, yeah.
I've got jeans. I've got some that are size 34 and some that are size 40.
And they both fit you.
Yeah, they both fit me, and it is so mad how different brands, different shops.
Yeah, it would be nice if they had a uniform, wouldn't it? Really?
Yeah, it would be, but they don't. And
I used to try
I'm
and
quite
find
enjoying your wallpaper. Just saying this, Mark. I don't think I've ever seen a wallpaper like the wallpaper you've got behind.
It's a shame to listeners who won't be able to see
I've got to
it.
explain it. I've got to explain it, right? I
brilliant.
thought Martin was sat in front of like a filter, because we do it on Teams. So we've got I have a filter. Josh is blurred out, but Martin has got. I think he's got what looks like cheese plants and lemurs, ring-tailed lemurs.
Yeah.
And they're
parrots.
like a foot each.
Yeah.
That is a feature wall, mate.
Who decided on that?
The wife.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
That
enough.
is
It is
epic.
in the bedroom, so it's fine.
Love that, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Sorry, totally distracted from what you
No,
were talking.
it's lovely, ain't it? You can't beat
It's
it.
brilliant, mate. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant, mate.
You
So,
know, the comforts of the bedroom, you know.
Where the magic happens, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't actually have a kind of an idea of any more questions to ask you, Martin. The only other thing I was going to say is that I understand, and that, again, we don't have to go into this if you don't want to, but you've also had other health issues you've had to battle alongside everything we've already gone through.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, and if you're willing, we'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. For 24 years now, I have suffered with Crohn's disease. It's horrible. You know, it all started because I got salmonella from a dodgy Chinese one. You know, one weekend.
Oh wow.
You know, I got salmonella, and I should have gone in hospital, but I didn't. I was working away at the time, and Public Health England phoned me and they're like, right, you need to go to hospital now. But I was working in France, so I couldn't.
Oh shit.
You know, because I had to do a stool sample because I wasn't well at the time. I was passing blood and everything. I wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
But once that cleared up and they treated it, it carried on, and obviously it took the specialist quite a while to say what I had.
Yeah.
Probably 2 or 3 years from the end of salmonella to when I was diagnosed with Crohn's. Because first of all, they thought it could have been cancer, it could have been irritable bowel syndrome, or other syndromes, with your gut and that. But it was Crohn's colitis.
Okay. Do you mind? I don't actually know. Not to go into too much deep detail, but I don't actually know what Crohn's disease really is. What it affects, what kind of problems you would have. Again, you don't have to go into serious detail, I'm sure, but
dish the dirt, Mark. Dish the dirt.
Yeah, it's just exactly the same as irritable bowel syndrome. One day I could eat a spicy curry, nothing. Next day I'll eat the same thing again. Out it comes in seconds.
Yeah.
And and it does affect me. It also affects me intestines. Once I tore, where I was so infected, I tore my intestine. I had to have 2 weeks off work because of that, because infection and everything. And I couldn't almost walk. It was that bad, but it's been getting better, and
it's a horrible thing. So did you go through like a FODMAP scenario and take foods out and add them back in? Did you have to do that, or
no?
No, so you haven't had to cut anything. You've not sort of pinpointed anything that sets it off.
No, because as I say, one day I could be perfectly fine, and the next day eat the same thing.
Yeah.
It could come firing out in seconds, and it's just one of those things. And I have flare-ups from time to time as well.
Yeah.
All they can prescribe is oh God, what do you call that? Steroids, to help with everything. Which steroids you pump weight on, so obviously it retains water and everything. So you could gain 8 or 9 pounds on a course of steroids straight away.
Yeah.
And it's not nice. And every now and again I have to go for checkups.
Yeah.
With a full BBC crew going up your backside, but
nice.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and just learn.
Well, I know you posted something on social media fairly recently about recent tests that you had. Do you want to divulge that?
Yeah, like every month I have a blood test because I've always been told I've had a fatty liver, and it is linked with Crohn's anyway. And every month, whatever diet I've done, nothing's ever helped. Then the other week when I went from a blood test, a couple of hours later I got a phone call, and I was pretty worried because I've never had a phone call like a couple of hours after having a blood test.
Yeah.
You get your mind racing and that, and they said, look, we've done your blood test and you haven't got fatty liver anymore. And
really,
that was magic.
No markers at all.
No markers at all.
That's unbelievable, mate.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And I also have gone from one stage where they were talking about me going on like cancer drugs to treat my irritable bowel, Crohn's.
Yeah.
And that's not been mentioned either. So we're going in the right direction, sort of thing.
Mate, that's amazing.
That's amazing. I bet that's huge credit to your weight loss, isn't it? Really, I would have thought.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And like with my Crohn's, when it is bad, I could visit the toilet 9, 10, 12 times a day.
Yeah.
I'm now down to 1, maybe 2, if that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it is changed a hell of a lot.
Oh, amazing.
And that's life changing, isn't it? When
I was going to say.
Because I know I've spoken about it. I have been through the whole food scenario and cutting out stuff and adding it back in, and found that I've got various triggers that set me off, and I've cut them out, and I know I now longer don't have those urgencies or anything like that at all, which is life changing, because that is so debilitating. I mean, thankfully I didn't get anywhere near as bad as Crohn's. I just ended up with IBS, but I now know that I can control it. So I know that if there are certain things that will set me off, and I know to avoid them. Occasionally I can eat them, and it's not a massive problem as long as I don't continuously eat them. And it is life changing. So absolute kudos to you, mate, because to go through what you have and to have done what you've done and got yourself to this point, I think is absolutely fantastic, and you must be so pleased.
Yeah. It's changed a hell of a lot, because, it's sort of those worries, if you're going out and you want to eat something, you think, is that gonna want to make me run to the toilet or whatever, it is a worry, and, I could flare up again, you never know, and it's just one of those things, and got to live with it, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, you're certainly going in the right direction, mate. And so to get those blood tests, mate, congratulations.
Yeah,
even with a full English.
Yeah. Or two. Yeah.
This will become the full English episode. Lose to win, the full English.
I'm going to have to title it the full English.
It is the best. It is God's food, that is.
It is definitely, mate.
Yeah. The whole works.
Yeah. Well, mate, I'd love to continue eulogizing about how good a full English is. In my case, taking out things like tomato, because it's just not.
Tomato in there.
I don't know why you would have fruit on a savoury plate. Let's be honest.
Delicious.
It's just, even if I know it's
lovely.
Technically, no.
Anyway. Load it up with pepper.
Yes, Martin.
We'll have to have a full English episode. Just discuss.
You can have a fry off.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my favourite full English is down in Plymouth.
Fair enough. He's got
a bit of a drive for that.
Yeah,
you've got a favourite full English place. I don't even go. I don't even half the time know where to get them. I know you can get them all sorts of places, but yeah. Amazing. I mean, thank you for talking to us, Martin, mate, and going through that. You obviously sound like you've been through quite a lot in terms of injuries and your health, and you keep plodding along, and you've been losing weight really well, and I love your attitude towards it as well. So just keep going, mate. And we're all here for it. We're all here for it. So we're thrilled to have you in the league, mate. So
definitely,
just keep going.
It's a pleasure to have you, mate. It's a pleasure to have you on the team as well. Love playing with you. It's great.
Brilliant. I love playing with everyone. Games never really affect you, and enjoy yourself and enjoy your friends, and you make new friends and everything, don't you? So it's really good.
Yeah. Amazing.
Brilliant, mate. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you very much. I think, unless there's anything else, Ben, you wanted to discuss or anything, we potentially leave it there this week.
So I think we've had quite a good old ramble there. I think Martin's kept us entertained, hasn't he, for as long as he has.
Yeah, very.
We can do wallpapers next time if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
My front room's going to be something similar to that. So
I love it, mate. Yeah, give us an update.
It's not yet. It will be in a few weeks, but
Brilliant.
We'll see.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much, Martin, for coming on. And,
legend.
We really appreciate it. Keep going, mate. And
thank you, guys.
Looking forward to hearing the story to continue as such. It's amazing, mate.
Bless you, mate. Thanks ever so much.
So thanks everyone else for listening as well, and we'll be back next week. I don't know if Jack's available again next week or yourself, Ben, but we'll be back for another episode of the pod, and I don't know, who knows, maybe another guest. But
we might have some announcements next week. Are there? Do we know when they're going to announce the awards nominations? Is that coming up? That must be
some point. I thought it might have been some point this week, or maybe at the weekend. So maybe not. I don't know for a fact. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much on that one. So we will find out.
And there might
some point in the next couple
some
of weeks,
information around the nationals as well, how they're going to sort of work that out.
We'll see if they can. We might see if we can get a team or two of that as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Who knows?
All right, boys. Well, thank you very much, and thanks everyone for listening. Please do share away as we ask.
Yeah, indeed. And come back for next week. So thank you very much, Martin, again. Thanks everyone for listening.
Cheers, Mark. Take it easy, mate.
Cheers, all right.
Speak
all
to you
the best,
soon.
mate.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.